This week, Vern Lundquist along with Dan Deerdorf, and the Vikings, of course, Dan, 15-1 in the regular season last year.
Monster expectations here in Minneapolis, Vern, and why not with a record like that? And they've got firepower plenty. They only scored 17 points last week, but the last time I looked, it was a W, not an L. Randall Cunningham still leads this football team. He had such a huge year last year. Look at 34 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a lot of people have forgotten he was Brad Johnson's backup last year. He is the man this year, very relaxed.
And it is the home opener for the Minnesota Vikings. We'll return to the Metrodome after this message from your local station. They are two of the NFL's newest and brightest stars. Randy Moss set an NFL rookie record with 17 touchdowns last year in his quest for the NFL's Rookie of the Year honors. In Moss's shadow will be last year's Defensive Rookie of the Year, Charles Woodson of the Oakland Raiders. They go head-to-head for the first time next. The Oakland Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings meet here for the first time since 1990. For Randall Cunningham, a continuation of a career resuscitated here in the Northland last year. And for Rich Gannon of the Oakland Raiders, a homecoming. He played for the Vikings for 6 years. Back with the kickoff in a moment. Husted, the new kicker for Oakland this year. Last year in Tampa, 8 of his 72 for touchbacks. And David Palmer, who last week had 3 kickoff returns in the win in Atlanta, including one of 51 yards. Vikings win the toss. Husted will kick off. Oakland 0-1, lost a heartbreaker to Green Bay. Vikings 1-0, won a squeaker against Atlanta. Palmer at the 9. And Palmer hit and knocked down at the 23-yard line, the tackle made by Eric Barton. Randall Cunningham, now 36 in his 14th year. And just a terrific season last year when he replaced Brad Johnson, as Dan said, and wound up throwing for 34 touchdowns. Last week, modest numbers for Randall Cunningham and the Vikings. Ball at the 24-yard line, first down and 10. But a year ago, an offense that set a season record of 556 points. Backs in the eye. Robert Smith is the deep back. And they open with Klein Saucer in the 8th back position. And Robert Smith gets a first down up to the 38-yard line. Gain of 14. And that big Viking line opened up the hole. It's Susie, McDaniel, Christie, Dixon, and Corey Stringer. Robert Smith, and when they go with the 3 wide receiver set, it'll be Moss, Reed, and Carter with Andrew Glover, the tight end. And they do now go with 3 wide receivers. So Jake Reed, Randy Moss, and Chris Carter are the 3 wideouts. Marquise Walker in as a nickel back for Oakland. And Cunningham pressured and down. That is a matchup we will watch, Dan, all afternoon. Darrell Russell and Randall McDaniel. Defensively, you've seen Russell with his first sack of the day. And the strength of this defense is at Russell and Russell Maryland spots. Johnstone and Harris on the outside. The linebackers, K.D. Williams, the rookie free agent, joins Beekert and Harvey. And the matchup we'll watch all afternoon. The 2 cornerbacks, Charles Woodson and Eric Allen, against Randy Moss and Chris Carter. And again, 3 wide receivers on 2nd and 20. Blitz coming. Cunningham has his tight end Glover over the middle to the 46, about 2 yards short of the first down. Newman and Eric Turner collaborate for the tackle.
Well, the Vikings opening up with a little bit of everything. An extremely well-blocked play on first down. An extremely poorly blocked play on their next play. And here a wide open Andrew Glover downfield. That time outstanding pass protection by the offensive line up front that didn't even block Darrell Russell on the play before. But Andrew Glover today, I think with all the attention given to the wideouts of the Vikings, could have a big day down the middle of the field, Vern.
3rd and 2. Cunningham sends it left for David Palmer. Out of the backfield, he is popped by Eric Allen, but it appeared to be enough to get the first down. They go with the 3 wide receiver set, Moss against Woodson, and flip it out to the tiny back, David Palmer.
Boy, they make it look so ho-hum overcoming that big sack. But David Palmer, boy, that is a big-time collision. Eric Allen, of course, it's not often you get a shot at a guy as little as David Palmer.
And down at the bottom of your screen, there's the matchup, much anticipated, Moss and Charles Woodson. And the handoff to Robert Smith comes right, hit, and dropped by K.D. Williams. Linebacker who had such an outstanding game last week, his first start in the NFL. Young man who played at Yuma Junior College in Henderson, had 3 years in the Canadian League, a cup of coffee with both Dallas and Kansas City, where he became very good friends with Deion Sanders and Derek Thomas.
Don't gloss over his best job, Vern. He was a sky cap at Tampa International Airport for years. That's how he put food on the table most of the time. What a great success story.
2nd and 10, play fake, Cunningham, deep, Glover.
It's what I just said. So much attention, so much cover two, going to the outside with the safeties to cover up Chris Carter and Randy Moss, that I think the middle of the field is going to be wide open for Andrew Glover. No jam at the line. Greg Beaker tries to get into him. But again, that curl back into the middle of the field. Turner and Newman slow to respond. Randall gets hit at the very end of that play by the blitz coming from Lance Johnstone, the defensive end, rather, who got in and got the hit on Randall. But a good start for Glover.
Here's Kleinsasser with the block. And Robert Smith tries to get around Eric Allen, but can't. That's the 2nd-round draft pick out of North Dakota, Jim Kleinsasser. And he lines up. He'll play as an H-back and a tight end, and he was the lead block then for Robert Smith.
Hey, he was their, Vern said, their 2nd-round pick, and he's a load, this Kleinsasser. 85. Get a load of this guy. He's 272 pounds. And he's fullback, H-back, tight end. He's one of those guys that's going to be all over the place.
Trips away.
Jimmy Kleinsasser. I love his name. I just like saying it.
Three wideouts. You might have a chance to say it. Here's Cunningham. Rush coming. Richard Harvey got there first. So 2 sacks in the early going for the Raider defense. 1 Russell, 1 Harvey.
Yeah, Harvey comes off the corner, and he's untouched. The Vikings just not in a position to pick him up. They've got 1 back in the backfield. He goes the other direction. Richard Harvey completely untouched. Randall saw him coming. Hey, sometimes it's better off to just take that sack than to be foolish with the football. 2nd sack of the season for Richard Harvey.
And 3rd and 15 now. Earlier in the drive, the Vikings found Glover for a gain of 23. Moss and Woodson right side. Cunningham goes deep for Glover again, but it's a little too high. He was there. 4th down. Gary Anderson, and what a miserable start for the Misters Anderson last week in New Orleans, in Atlanta. Morton Anderson missed 2, and Gary Anderson was 1 of 3. He had a 26-yarder block, and this one from 50 yards out, low, going left. Gary Anderson, at the age of 40 in his 18th year, hit all 35 of his field goals last year in regular season. And that was tacked on to 5 in a row he hit in San Francisco, but he's now 1 of 4 this year. Andrew Glover had 2 big catches in that last Viking drive, but a misconnect on a critical play, and now, after the missed field goal, Rich Gannon back home in Minneapolis. And he hands it off to Napoleon Cochran, who tries to follow Rich's block going right, and Ed McDaniel, the middle linebacker who had 9 tackles last week, is there. Rich Gannon, a 4th-round draft pick in 87 of the New England Patriots, traded 2 weeks later to the Vikings, saw considerable action here, led this team to an 11-5 record his last year here in 92, traded to Washington the next season, and signed a 4-year contract as a free agent with the Oakland Raiders in the offseason. Gannon into the flat. Kaufman one-on-one out of the corner with Amos McDonald. Let's check the Oakland offense. Mo Collins at the left tackle spot. We'll watch Steve Wisniewski and John Randall today. Robbins, DiNapoli, and Kennedy. Kaufman and Ritchie in the backfield. Tim Brown and James Jett, the wideouts, and Ricky Dudley, the tight end. 3rd and 9. Kerry Mickens comes on as a third wide receiver. Tim Brown in the slot to the left side. The backs are split on 3rd down 9. Blitz. Gannon deep in the middle for Brown, drop. And he was there. He beat the nickel back, Kenny Wright. Oh boy.
Well, it's what John Gruden hopes for. You hope they blitz. It opens up the middle of the field because it's a safety coming. And what do? You send your best receiver into the vacated area of the blitzer, and it's not a completion. You work on it all week, you draw it up, and that's exactly the scenario you hope for, and it ends up being a punting situation.
Well, it's 3 and out for the Oakland Raiders, and Leo Araguz is on the punt. David Palmer camps under it at the 15. Down at the 27. 44-yard punt. 11 on the return. Well, the Vikings moved the length of the field, missed a field goal their first possession. The defense holds Oakland, and the Vikings get it back for the second time. Zip at the Met in Minnesota. Now the defense huddles on the sideline. Coach Fangio leading the conversations, and the Viking offense for the second offensive series. Double tight end set now. Randy Moss in motion, crossing pattern for Moss. He has the ground. Oh, wow. How'd that happen?
Well, he dances into the slot, and it's really just a 3-yard pass. I'm not sure if the ball was behind Randy a little bit. It hit him on the hands. It looked like it was not the best of throws, though, from Randall Cunningham. For being such a short throw, it was definitely behind Randy Moss.
Well, those of you who wanted to see the Woodson-Moss matchup, they're having at it again down here bottom of the screen. 2nd and 10. Cunningham quick set, goes left. Pass is caught by Jake Reed, and Greg Beaker is out to make the tackle.
Well, Jake Reed, again, just one of those guys that brings great size to this receiving core of the Minnesota Vikings. Reed is 6'3", Carter is 6'3", Moss is 6'4", and I don't care who you are, when you're a cornerback and you're looking at receivers with this kind of size, this kind of speed, this kind of experience, I'm not sure that many guys in the silver and black secondary slept all that well this week.
Teammate of Andrew Glover when they played at Grambling. 3rd and 1. David Palmer back in the lineup, and this is the no-back set. 5 out. Cunningham comes right. Chris Carter makes the grab. First down Minnesota at the 43 in front of Marquise Walker. Well, of course, that Cunningham-Carter combination, they began their relationship professionally with the old Philadelphia Eagles.
Just the simplest of patterns by Chris Carter, and who really has now evolved here in his 13th year into really the possession receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. You know, Chris is a strong guy at 220 pounds, and he's able to take that pounding, getting hit inside by linebackers and strong safeties.
Leroy Ford in the fullback now. Play fake. Cunningham buys a little time, comes right, finds Carter again. First down at the 40. A 16-yard gain for Chris Carter, who opened the season with 7 grabs last week.
Well, the Raiders in a zone defense, and Chris finds the hole there between the corner and the safety. Initially, there's Charles Woodson, number 24, but you can see he's clearly playing zone. And then Eric Turner, number 29, will be the safety that comes up from behind. He misses the tackle on Chris. And again, that is just feel. That is knowing your way around a football field, operating in space, something that Chris Carter does extremely well.
Now, the play cake had wound down by the time the Vikings got to the line of scrimmage. So Minnesota burns one of its 3. Time call. Denny Green in his 8th season here, and of course they went to the NFC Championship game at home, losing in overtime to Atlanta last year when most around the country thought they were bound for the Super Bowl. So reason to grind again. Here's Robert Smith on first down. Down to the 36-yard line into the hands of James Harris, number 93. Oh, hey, they're a mighty 1-0.
Oh, I know that. Big win last week.
Here's Smith dancing to the outside, pursued by Woodson, who knocks him out of bounds. And that will bring up a third down. Charles Woodson chatting with us yesterday about the Ballyhood matchup. Of course, he won the Heisman 2 years ago, and then Randy Moss finished fourth. He said they palled around a little bit in New York at the ceremonies. They were together at the Pro Bowl, but he said they don't play phone tag.
No, he said we're not. Let's not get any confusion going here. We are not close friends. And Randy Moss came right out and said, I should have won the Heisman. Charles Woodson said, hey, tell him it's at my mother's house in Florida.
3rd and 1. Play fake, Cunningham. He's got a tight end open. Big Carlester Cooper touchdown.
Too much attention to the wide receivers, and the tight ends will have their way with you. Now, 20 years ago, a guy Crumpler's size would have been an offensive tackle at 6'6", 260. He would have been bigger than Forrest Gray. Nowadays, you make a guy that size a tight end, and you know what happens? A lot of times, defensive backs hit him downfield, and they bounce off.
Mitch Berger will kick off for the Vikings, who now lead at 7-0. 1 of 4 kickoffs for a touchback last year, but last year, 40 of his 114 kickoffs were not returned. He's got a powerful style. NFL record that had previously been held on the 30-yard line by John Hall of the Jets. Here comes Rich Gannon on to face the Viking defense again. And let us introduce you to the Minnesota Viking defense. Up front, John Burrow, Tony Williams, John Randall, and Dwayne Clemens. The linebackers are Kylie Wong, McDaniel, and Rudd. And the secondary, Ramus McDonald, Griffith, Orlando Thomas, and Jimmy Hitchcock. First down and 10. Rush from the outside. Gannon finds Tim Brown. And almost the first positive yardage for the Raiders. They pick up 9.
Give these total offense numbers here, Vern. Before that play right there, what is it? Minnesota 117. And the Raiders 10. And that's because of that pass right there where they picked up 9. They had 1 yard before that. And did you see Tim Brown look that ball into his chest? No doubt he was catching that. He caught that with everything but his toes.
2nd and 1, Oakland trailing by 7. John Ritchie wants to make sure he's got the snap count. They just beat the play clock, and Kaufman tries to dance outside. Robert Griffith, who will stick with, got one there.
Now, you want run support out of your strong safety. That's why he's called a strong safety. But look at this run support by Robert Griffith in the backfield. Eddie McDaniel on the run blitz forces Kaufman to the outside, right to Robert Griffith. That is a gap-controlled defense by Foz Fazio. Everybody has a gap. That was Griffith's responsibility. When the ball carrier got there, bang, he made the play.
3rd and 2 after the loss of 1. Blitz coming again. Gannon with time. Shovels it out incomplete for Terry Mickens, and the Raiders 3 and out for the 2nd consecutive time.
Uh-oh. There's Steve Wisniewski, John Randall saying, I love you, man. Andrew Glover, Ricky Dudley, beg your pardon, number 83, was standing wide open, and Rich Gannon just didn't get a chance to see him. And right now, this is we're starting to enter a little dangerous territory here. Offensively, the Raiders have done next to nothing. You don't want to fall behind big early here at the Metrodome.
Aragoose for the second time will punt to David Palmer, chases him left, and that was out of bounds. Minnesota gets it back for the third time. They currently enjoy a lead of 7-0. 3:19 to go first quarter. Randall Cunningham and the Vikings have had their way with the Oakland defense, and Willie Shaw has changed up his front four now. 3 fresh faces among the 4. Russell Maryland, the only starter who's still in there. Blitz from Beaker. Reverse Randy Moss. And Randy Moss gets a block downfield from Chris Carter. So there's the vet and the second-year man, and a nice play.
Well, Moss is split out to the bottom of the screen. He's going to move in, and it's just the fake, and boy, it's one of the oldest plays in football, but with the speed of Moss, and there again a good look at Eric Allen trying to fight off the block of Chris Carter, just rendered ineffective. These receivers for the Vikings, they block, they run, they catch. They do everything but mow your lawn.
Robert Smith breaks 1 tackle, and then contact made by Tony Bryant, number 94.
Lost in all this talk, Vern, about Moss and Chris Carter and Jake Reed and Cunningham is, one, you have an all-star running back here in Robert Smith, almost 1,200 yards last year. He did have 1,266 back in '97, and maybe one of the 2 or 3 best offensive lines in all of football. This is as complete an offensive football team as you will find anywhere in the NFL. In fact, one of the better ones we've seen in a decade.
Play fake again. Cunningham feels the pressure, flips it left, caught by Glover, the tight end. 3rd catch for Andrew Glover. And that's a pickup of 10 and another Minnesota first down.
When you say you're going to play cover 2, which puts your 2 safeties in the deep outside, you're putting a lot of strain on the other people to try to keep track of the tight end. And you can see Randall getting the ball out to Andrew Glover, who was wide open. Randall almost overthrew him, and Glover makes one heck of a nice catch.
Now Carter lines up wide right, and Randy Moss in the slot. Cunningham comes right side for Randy Moss. Got him in between Woodson and Turner. He was in the slot, and initially they had a linebacker on him.
Again, the Raiders are sitting playing zone. There's Randy Moss in the slot right there on the lefty side of your screen. He's going to move to the inside, and then watch this break as he comes back to the outside. And this, it's not a complicated pattern, but it is a timing pattern. The ball must arrive when he's in that soft spot between the corner and the safety. Perfect execution by Cunningham.
First down and 10. Kleinsasser is the lead back now to Robert Smith. Starts right, comes back left, tests the middle, inside the 25, and Anthony Newman makes the tackle.
10 touchdowns of 40 or more yards last year. Crazy legs hurt. That record stood for a long time, and Randy tied it. And he's just a baby, Vern. He's 22 years old. Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator of the Raiders, you know he didn't sleep well. In fact, he told us he didn't sleep hardly at all.
That's right. Football, and the Oakland Raiders have found a way to stop the Vikings,
who stopped themselves. Russell Maryland, I think, came up with the football. You have a veteran quarterback and a veteran center in Jeff Christie. The ball looks like it hits Randall right in the hands. Randall didn't pull out early. I didn't see anything unusual in the center quarterback exchange. Well, it hits Randall right in the hands, and Randall, for some reason, just doesn't get it, doesn't control it. I didn't see any error on the part of the center or a physical error in Randall coming out from under center early.
That is the first turnover of the season for the Minnesota Vikings. Tyrone Wheatley in at running back gets the handoff now and is out across the 30 to the 31. Wheatley will spell Napoleon Kaufman. He had 15 carries last week in Green Bay and ran with great authority there.
He sure did, Vern. He pounded the ball in there, and of course he's the big back that the Raiders need. Napoleon Kaufman at only 185 pounds can carry the ball 25 times a ball game. Tyrone, the perfect alternative to Napoleon Kaufman.
2nd and 4 could be the final play of the quarter. Blitz. Wheatley with a nifty move gives Oakland its first down of the game, and it comes on the final play of the first quarter. For Jr., the only man with a touchdown in the game so far. His first touchdown as a Viking. And the Raiders just picked up their first down as we begin the second quarter from left to right. Vern Lundquist, Dan Deerdorf, and Marcus Allen, game 2. And here's Gannon across the middle for Tim Brown. And another Raider first down across the 50 to the 48-yard line. That is a gain of 15.
Well, this time it's the Vikings' turn to sit back in a zone defense. Tim Brown just doing the curl to the inside. Orlando Thomas comes up and makes the open field tackle, but that's a route that Brown breaks off when he sees that particular zone. That's just good coordination between Brown and Rich Gannon, the quarterback.
Brown gets a rest on first down. That is Dudley in motion. Blitz coming. Gannon, pretty good blitz pickup is hit. He's got a man open. And excellent defensive work, but a flag is thrown on Jimmy Hitchcock. James Jett, the intended receiver, defensive holding on Denny Green's bunch.
Well, the only good news for Minnesota with defensive holding is that that's only 5 yards in the first down versus all that extra yardage if there's interference.
Holding on the defense, number 27, prior to the pass. That's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And, you know, penalty is a penalty, but it ends up saving the Vikings about 20 yards. The hold right there at the line of scrimmage as Jett tries to break back to the outside. You can see Hitchcock grabbed him up around the helmet and the shoulder pads with his right hand. Jimmy Hitchcock has been around for a while, 4-year guy, and of course remember he was with Bill Parcells in New England and fell out of favor, to put it mildly.
First down. Wheatley comes right, gets a couple to the 41-yard line. Tackle made by Ed McDaniel. Well, some game last night.
You know, I never played there, but I'm starting to gather that it's not real easy to win in that swamp.
2nd and 8, 7-0. As Kenny Shedd in motion. Rush coming from the outside. Gannon finds Tim Brown. And Tim Brown out of bounds at the 25-yard line. A gain of 17.
Well, it started up front. It was outstanding pass protection by the Raiders. Rich gets a chance to look downfield. This is a pretty good pocket. Everybody's controlled up front. He's allowed to set his feet. Now he just sidearms the ball a little bit to Tim Brown. That was an outstanding job up front. All right, there's John Randall. Now he starts off over Gennaro DiNapoli, the right guard. He moves him to the outside, stays after him. Randall won't hurt you as long as you can reroute him like that.
First down and 10 with the Raiders trailing by 7. They hand it off to Wheatley. He breaks into the secondary and is tackled at the 20-yard line. Now let's see what else is going on in the league. Here is Jim Nantz.
All right, Vern, finally someone has penetrated the Pittsburgh end zone this season. The Baltimore Ravens' Eric Rett gets in to tie the game at 7. Let's go back to you.
All right, Jimmy, and the Oakland Raiders trying to do the same, tied up at 7 here. This their first serious thrust offensively in the ball game.
And they're trying to take advantage of the fumbled exchange between Christie and Cunningham.
Randy Jordan splits out wide to the left. And Tim Brown in motion, followed by Kenny Wright. Gannon in trouble. Gets out of the tackle, but does not get the first down. I think they had a play designed for Randy Jordan. And he was well covered by Jimmy Hitchcock.
Initially, the pass protection is good. His pressure is going to come from the backside. Take a good look there. Dwayne Clemens works in from the backside and is able to just trip Rich up enough. It's not a sack because he got beyond the line of scrimmage. Actually picked up a couple yards on the play.
3rd and 3, and Randy Jordan comes in. He is a short yardage specialist now. They'll fake to Jordan. Gannon with a rollout. Has a man who drops it at the 15-yard line. James Jett with Hitchcock covering.
That's taking advantage of Gannon's mobility by putting him on the move. Gannon rolls to his right. There's Jett coming across the field to catch up with his quarterback. It's an absolutely perfect throw by Gannon, but look how Hitchcock had his right hand in the midsection of James Jett and was able to knock that ball away. That is a superior defensive play by Jimmy Hitchcock.
Michael Husted had the kind of start Gary Anderson did last week. 1 of 3, and he'll try and kick this one home from 36 out of Eric Hughes' hold. And Husted puts Oakland on the board. John Gruden's team gets their first 3 points of the afternoon. Just knocked home the 36-yard field goal, and that was at the tag end of a 57-yard drive, 9 plays, and it consumed 4 minutes and 4 seconds. David Palmer awaits the kick now from Husted, who was acquired and signed in part, John Gruden said, because he kicks off long. Let's see if this one, it's not one of them. As Palmer called down from behind, and the tackle made on David Palmer. Well, you had a sense that the Minnesota Vikings were controlling everything, and just when they needed it, the Raiders got the turnover.
We've all done games here over the years where we have seen the Vikings climb on top of somebody big early, and then it's impossible to play catch-up in this stadium. It's really hard to do. Now, the Raiders, they capitalized. They got the turnover. They would have preferred a touchdown, but they got the 3 points out of it. At least they're in this ballgame. It looked like they had a chance of falling behind 14-0.
Randy Moss, Charles Woodson, 1st and 4th in the Heisman voting 2 years ago. 1st down and 10, Vikings. Randall Cunningham had the fumble inside the 30. Here's Cunningham, goes right, almost picked off by Eric Turner. Oh, he had perfect position on Carlester Crumpler.
Well, it's one of the things when you have such confidence in your receiving corps that you are very aggressive in throwing the football. A lot of quarterbacks would look at this coverage by Turner on Crumpler and say, I'm not going there. But Randall will jam the football in. Randall Cunningham will take chances that other quarterbacks in this league won't take because a lot of times they end up being completions.
2nd down and 10. Blitz is coming. Cunningham rolls to his right. And that one is incomplete at the 40. Contact, but no flag. Charles Woodson, Chris Carter. Now there is a flag.
Yeah, there comes a late flag, Vern. I didn't see it either. It's back at the 37-yard line. An eligible receiver downfield for the Vikings. That, of course, happens when Randall scrambles like that.
Ineligible player downfield on the offensive team, number 62. 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Well, that's Jeff Christie, the center. Again, everyone's a little confused. Here's Christie right here in the middle. Let's take a look at him. Now, Randall has to leave the pocket. Christie floating out. They've got a screen pass set up. Oh, and there he goes. Jeff Christie is not a little downfield. He looks...
That's a Scandinavian definition of a lot.
Throw it to me. Throw it to me.
Here's Cunningham. He's been sacked twice. Rolls right, fires it, has Carter. And Chris Carter works himself open. A huge gain for the Vikings. 24 yards and a 1st down.
How many times over the years have you looked at Randall Cunningham, thought you were looking at a sack, and then you end up looking at a big play? It looks like he's trapped in the backfield, and again, making it look easier than it really is able to break out to the right. Randall's going to feel pressure coming from his right side. Steps up just a little bit, And again, just buys time breaking away from Johnstone. But that, that's the type of mobility, folks, that it can't be taught. It's a God-given gift.
Here's Cunningham left, Randy Moss. Eric Allen drew the assignment this time, 19 yards.
All right, Eric Allen comes up, tries to get a hit on Moss, but the inside release just takes Allen completely out of the play. Turner's late to get there. Again, he's finding that soft spot between the corner's jam and the safety's coverage.
2 catches for 42 yards for Randy Moss. Here comes the rush from the outside. They go to the fade route in the corner. And the catch from Moss. The flag is down, but he held on one-handed.
Well, that's the matchup everybody wanted to see. Woodson is with Moss, but as Randy Moss will tell you, the corners aren't playing the ball. They're too busy playing me.
Defensive pass interference, number 24. Penalty is declined since the pass was caught. First down.
First and goal, mix up in the backfield. Leroy Horde, wow.
That is the worst looking play I've seen in a long time. How can you follow a play of such artistic grace and beauty with this? There's just no describing that. That's horrible.
Well, he was trying to say hello to the fullback, Obafemi Ubenden Dejo, and he got...
Easy for you.
Yeah, not very.
Well, a highlight play followed by a non-highlight play.
3rd and 3. Second down, beg your pardon. Second down. Cunningham, sack.
KD. There's the Skycat delivering the baggage. Randall had no shot. Willie Shaw gambles and comes with the all-out blitz. And Randall doesn't even get a chance to plant his feet. We saw the Raiders last week in Green Bay blitz Brett Favre and get burned by it. Here was a good example of it working.
K.D. Williams had a fumble, recovery, and an interception last week. Gets a sack. Here it's 3rd and goal at the 19. Cunningham looks for Glover into double coverage. Almost picked off by Newman. No one fooled that time. And the Vikings will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Gary Anderson has missed one from 50 yards today.
Randall again going to the middle of the field. The ball sails over the top of Glover. And Newman really had it in his hands, and we'll find out if this is a three-point drop or not. Little plays like that, you look back at the end and say, if.
Anderson's kick, up, and it was a three-point drop. Anderson hammers it home from 36. The Vikings again lead by 7. Randy Moss had the big play in the scoring drive, 8 plays in all, 53 yards. And the end of it all, a 36-yard field goal from Gary Anderson. But it was Moss with a one-handed catch that gave Minnesota a 1st and goal as he went up and over Charles Woodson. Now Mitch Berger will kick off a 10-3 Viking lead. Randy Jordan, Calvin Branch are deep. This one goes over Randy Jordan. Back into the end zone. The impetus of the ball provided by the kicker. And that's the key in determining a safety. Even though Randy Jordan had to go back into the end zone to retrieve it, it was a matter of impetus. And that impetus came from the kicker.
So Jordan smartly knew the rule as well. He knew he could kneel on it in the end zone. Well, I don't know if you could look at this often enough. Randy Moss elevating at the right time, snagging it one-handed over Charles Woodson. Oh, my goodness.
Moss gets to rest. as his defensive teammates confront Rich Gannon and the Oakland Raiders. On first down, Gannon steps up, comes right, Tim Brown. And the catch made up at the 28-yard line. So Tim Brown active here in the first half of play. Vikings go to the prevent defense on second down. 7:40 to go, 2nd and 2. Oakland with one drive in the ballgame after they had recovered a Randall Cunningham fumble. Ritchie, the fullback. The handoff goes to Wheatley for nothing. It'll be third down. And here comes Minnesota flying to the ball. Orlando Thomas was the last man over.
Tyrone Wheatley that time didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. One of the things that really stands out about this Viking defensive team is their team speed. Not sure there's a faster defense in the league.
3rd and 3. Brown is the motion man. Crossing pattern. They find him, and he drops his second. It was a little behind him, but he's got to make that catch. Wow.
You said it all, Vern. It wasn't perfect from Rich Gannon. You're putting Brown in motion. You're just slicing him right across the formation. There's no way McDonald can stay with him. Yes, it was not a perfect pass. But a Tim Brown and a receiver of that caliber, this is the National Football League. You're on the road. You're behind. You have to catch it.
So instead of the drive continuing, it's 4th down and Leo Araguz. That's not a very good punt. That slices out of bounds just inside the 50. As Araguz pounded a line drive left, a 26-yard punt.
Vern, you have A players and B players and C players. The B's and the C's take their lead from the A. When your A guy isn't playing well, it's tough for everybody else.
Now Bear Robbins, Steve Wisniewski trying to solve the puzzle of the Minnesota defense. Coming up next, second game of our doubleheader, Denver at Kansas City. Vikings have a 7-point lead and a first down 10. The handoff goes to Robert Smith, who is buried for a loss of 1. Tackle made by Greg Beaker, number 54.
We're going to get a chance to watch those Michigan quarterbacks do battle in Kansas City, huh?
The Michigan quarterbacks have become dominant.
We got Brian Greasy in Denver,
right?
Elvis Grbac in Kansas City.
And that kid in San Diego now?
Jim Harbaugh?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Quarterback you.
Everywhere.
Go blue. Tim Brown trying to shake off 2 drops on third down. Second down and 10. Here's Cunningham looking right all the way. Finds his tight end, Jim Kleinsasser. At Metropolis, Carrington, North Dakota.
And I believe that's Kleinsasser's first catch of the year. He was the first tight end drafted last year. The Vikings gave a couple late-round choices to the Steelers so they could move up and draft Kleinsasser. That's how much they like this guy. But again, this 270 pounds plus. So the Vikings tight ends, 270 plus for Kleinsasser, Crumpler at 260, and Glover, the lightweight, at 245.
David Palmer in on third down and 4. Carter starts in motion. Cunningham goes deep for Carter. And he goes by Eric Allen and then slots down.
Well, he went by Eric Allen before that, Bert. That was the second time I think he went by Eric Allen. Eric Allen tore his ACL last November. I'm amazed that he's even playing at this time of the season. You see him right there. He tried to get a late jam on Chris Carter, but that 220 pounds, that upper body strength of Chris Carter, he just slipped him off like he wasn't even there. Other side of the field, Randy Moss, Charles Woodson. Not a factor. Not enough footballs to keep all these guys happy.
Minnesota has called timeout. That is their second. We'll be right back. And the Vikings up 10-3. Chris Carter breaks out wide to the right. Randy Moss in the slot. And here's a linebacker out on him again, K.D. Williams. Last time they ran this formation, they gained about 20. This time they slipped the ball inside. And Brady Jackson got there. Number 90. Carry made by Robert Smith. on CBS. Take a 12. Again, Moss in the slot to the right. Jake Reed also a part of things. And here's Cunningham back. Pumps. Got him. Tony Bryant, the rookie, number 94.
Well, Randall can't see this coming from the backside, but Tony Bryant just goes right around the corner on Todd Stussy. Stussy's number 73, and Bryant with just a tremendous upfield burst, and Randall with a very deep drop. Stussy not able to get any piece of Tony Bryant. Their rookie this year, their second-round draft choice out of Florida State, and Randall just can't deal with what he can't see.
Fourth sack of Cunningham here in the first half. A loss of 11. It's 3rd and 23. And the Vikings have to use their final timeout of the first half.
4 sacks, not what you'd expect from what's supposed to be one of the better offensive lines in football.
Minnesota 10-3, second quarter, 3:30 to go. And the Vikings have used all 3 of their timeouts. Cunningham has been effective throwing the ball, but he's got 4 sacks today.
They have 14 of 18, and talk about spreading the ball around. He has hit 7 different receivers here in the first half.
3-man front, and the Oakland Raiders will send only 3. Cunningham comes left for Jake Reed. That will get them inside field goal position. A gain of 15. Greg Biekert and Eric Turner back to make the tackle. 15, and Gary Anderson is going to come on and try another long field goal. This one will be 44 yards.
Keep in mind, we have the new footballs in play this year, the special balls, and it has definitely put a lot of suspense back into the field goal. It's kind of done for the field goal what Dave Kingman used to do for a fly ball. Nothing is taken for granted anymore, even by the best.
Mike Morris' snap is high, and it's blocked and picked up by K.D. Williams. And the rookie Skycap from Tampa Bay returns the ball inside the 50. That is the second time already this season that Gary Anderson has had one blocked. This was Woodson.
All right, the first thing you look for, penetration. You don't see a lot of it. It's blocked off the corner. It is Charles Woodson who comes around the corner. The high snap, and a definite face mask there at the very end of that play that didn't get called. Mays had his hand on it, but that's just a wonderful job by Woodson. And how is it that K.D. Williams is always around a loose football, Vern? 2 weeks in a row now we've seen this kid.
Here's Gannon with a play fake. Avoids the tackle for the moment. Brings it out to Wheatley, who picks up 1 and scrambles out of bounds after Ed McDaniel makes the tackle.
This is one of the things that Rich Gannon brings to the table. Look at the mobility. Look at the fighting to stay alive, and even with a guy hanging on him, able to get the football to a receiver. Granted, it's only good for a couple of yards, but that is just a part of Rich Gannon's game that has always been there. And it's the reason that John Gruden wanted him so badly to replace Jeff George.
Tim Brown in the slot to the left. Jordan in the backfield. Here comes the rush from the outside. Perfect call to Randy Jordan. A flag is down. This one might come back.
And almost certainly this will come back. Oh, actually, Larry Nemmers points to the Vikings, the illegal use of the hands.
Illegal hands to the face on the defensive team, number 58. Will add 5 yards into the run. First down.
That's Eddie McDaniel, the middle linebacker.
And Dan and Vern go to the penalty box.
Yeah, but we were authoritative.
You know, it was a good-looking screen pass by the Raiders, and Ed McDaniel was out there trying to fight off the block, and in an attempt to fight off a block, just got his hands up in somebody's face.
Have to hurry before the 2-minute warning. And they do not get the play called before we stop the clock. 2 minutes to go, first half. Raiders trying to tie this up. 1st and 10, back split. Ritchie and Wheatley, and here's Gannon. Lost the ball, and that is a fumble, not a pass. That is a fumble and not a forward pass. And we'll see. Oakland.
Well, this is a classic case of the pocket disintegrating on Rich Gannon. It looks okay to start with, and that ball, as he throws it, just comes out of his hand.
And Gannon is given credit for the recovery. A loss of 8, 2nd down and 18.
I don't know if the ball was slippery, Vern, or what, but he just lost the handle.
Blitz. Gannon shakes it. He'll run. Gets a block from Dudley. And is out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Make it the 22.
Oh, and Robert Griffith is going to be a sad, sad guy. Boy, you draw it up where you come in and try to get a clean shot. There's Griffith, number 24. Oh, and he just comes in with his motor running a little too fast. He's not under control, and Gannon is just able to give him the slip. Oh, Foge has to have his hair going even grayer than it already was. And you work on it all week, and you just get your shot, and you don't get it. Raspberries.
Gain of 17 sets up a 3rd down and 1. He just aged before our very eyes.
That hair was coal black 10 minutes ago.
And the Raiders, who had a full complement of 3 timeouts remaining, used 1, and they stopped the clock with 1:42 to go before the break. Rich Gannon, 6 years here with the Vikings, and trying to get his new team into a tie before halftime. Signed a 4-year deal as a free agent off the Kansas City roster after meeting with John Gruden back in February. Gannon with a roll. Pops it out. Caught. Tim Brown, who had dropped 2 third-down grabs, makes this one.
Nothing fancy about that. He's locked up with Ramus McDonald, the corner. And this is nothing but a running play. Rich Gannon, and that is a good catch by Tim Brown. This ball was kind of low and away. But when I say a running play, this is just a possession pass. West Coast offense at its best. And that was a good handle by Timmy Brown on a ball that could have been dropped.
5 catches for Brown in the first half. Wheatley in the backfield. He gets the handoff, and he runs into a load. Ed McDaniel filled the hole superbly.
There is not a middle linebacker in football with a quicker burst than Eddie McDaniel. Again, we talked about Foge's gap control defense. Line movement up front, that's Eddie McDaniel's hole off of the right guard. He slices right into it, and that's just a good call. Again, a good call by Foge, putting his players in the right position to make a big play.
Raiders use the second of their 3 timeouts. They have 1 left with 48 seconds to go before the break. Monday on CBS.
Serafino Dante Fazio.
Ooh.
I'm not sure where the Foge came from, but Serafino obviously wasn't working for it.
2nd down. Gannon back. Fires it out, and Jordan drops it. Oh, dear.
So all John could do is shake his head and try to call another one. The Raiders know they have an uphill climb opening in Green Bay and then Minnesota on the road. When you're facing such a stiff climb, you must seize every opportunity. You must try to make the most of it. You just don't have many to give away.
3rd and 11. Four-man rush. Gannon a little behind Tim Brown. Incomplete. Wisniewski and John Randall renew their friendship. John said, he tries to step on my feet.
Now, Rich, under pressure again, you see him take the hit in the back. But again, that ball delivered right onto the hands of Tim Brown. When you're an all-pro wide receiver, that's a catch that ought to be fairly routine for you.
He's caught 5. He's missed 3. Husted from 37 yards out. Aragoos with a hold, and Michael Husted manages to put Oakland within 4.
And an obviously upset John Gruden. That ball was under duress. I think a fine delivery from Rich Gannon, putting it right on the hands of your team's best receiver, and it doesn't happen for you. You're on the road. You're an underdog. You just don't get that many shots. Frustrating time for the Oakland Raiders. They had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter last week at Lambeau Field, and they let it get away. And now they're going to go to halftime here, realizing they've had scoring opportunities that they have allowed to slip through their fingers.
Well, so far in the first half, Cunningham 15 of 19 for better than 250, but he has been sacked 4 times and fumbled once. Rich Gannon, much more modest numbers. And
well, keep in mind, though, those 6 incomplete passes that Rich Gannon has thrown, how many of those are drops? 4. Yeah, I haven't seen anybody in a Raider uniform doing a Randy Moss impersonation. And that's when you look at those numbers and you say, well, Gannon must be playing a horrible football game. Not necessarily so.
Here's the kick from Husted, taken by Palmer at the 2. David Palmer has a little bit of room. Knocked down at the 32, and here is a flag down.
Can't miss that one, can you?
Charles Mincy down to make the stop. This will go against Minnesota.
Holding during the run, number 45. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
John Henry Mills, number 45, who was a former Raider.
And one of the better special teams players in the National Football League. John Henry has been around a long time, and he's been here because of his prowess on special teams.
Made the Pro Bowl in '96 as a special teamer with the Oilers. Here's the total yardage, but 2 turnovers as a fumble from Cunningham and the blocked field goal. But the Raiders only able to get 6 points out of those 2 turnovers.
Now, if the Raiders are successful here in keeping Minnesota from scoring here in the balance of the first half, John Gruden has got to say to his team, guys, as poorly as we played, we're still only down by 4 points.
Here comes the blitz. Cunningham hands it off to Robert Smith. That, by the way, was the 4th penalty, and the crowd resounding with, boos.
The crowd wants an air ball downfield to Randy Moss. Maybe you get the interference call, but Denny Green satisfied to go to halftime. And this crowd, I don't know. It's hard not to take a shot. It's hard not to air it out one time.
What was that guy's number again? 84?
84. When that Paul Wiggins.
Well, we've reached halftime, and Denny Green's team leading 10-6. And right now, let's check in with Marcus Allen, who's with the Oakland coach.
Hey, Coach, you got to be happy. Total domination early on by the Vikings. The edge is down, and you made it pretty close. What do you tell your team in the second half?
We got to make more plays than they do. We're getting rid of opportunities on offense. We're not handling the ball like we're capable of. It's a 10-6 game. We got the ball to start the second half. We got to keep fighting.
Well, back to you, Bert. That's it. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Back to the Raiders.
All right.
All right, John Gruden. But it might be fair to say they've squandered many scoring opportunities here.
Well, again, John Gruden, talking to Marcus as he went off at halftime, is well aware of the fact that they could be out of this game already. This could be a 21-0 ball game. So I think the Raiders very fortunate, and he's got to try to accentuate the positive. But somebody for the Raiders has got to make a play. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers here at halftime. And It's going to be complete domination by the Minnesota Vikings, especially in the passing game. 221 net yards for Randall Cunningham in that attack. That's just running away with it. And again, those numbers don't reflect only a 4-point lead.
Dan, look at that number on the lower left-hand side. Under Oakland, penalties, nada.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's the only thing that's going the Raiders' way here this afternoon. But again, somebody has just got to make a play for the Raiders. And when I say make a play, make a great catch, break a couple of tackles, do something beyond the ordinary, do something beyond what you're expected to do. That's how you have to win. That's how you have to play to win on the road.
Mitch Berger will kick off for Minnesota. They try to win their home opener for the 7th time under Coach Denny Green. They're 6-1 in home openers since Denny Green took the helm here.
They had a perfect record at home here last year during the regular season. That's kind of negated when you lose the NFC Championship game here at home, as they did to the Atlanta Falcons.
Berger's kick sails. This will not be returned.
I guess not.
Ooh. New footballs, huh?
Well, and certainly inside here, no tailwind either.
Maybe a case of helium. That thing really powered its way into the end zone, and the Oakland Raiders. Rich Gannon comes back home, as we told you, 6 years here. He actually married the daughter of one of the legends of the Minnesota Vikings, Bill Brown. Played here in the 60s. Bill's daughter, Shelley, is Rich Gannon's wife. They have 2 daughters, and the Gannon family did not make the trip back. Rich said this is a business trip.
He said, I have a home half hour from here. I'm not even going by the house. But he will retire here. This is where the Gannons will end up when his football career is over.
1st and 10. They hand it off. Napoleon Kaufman runs into Dwayne Rudd.
And that I don't know if Dwayne's helmet came down and hit him on the nose or something, but a great stick by the linebacker. But I think he knocked his noggin a little bit there. The team's still trying to figure out what happened. It's not always the offensive player that comes out on the worst end of a tackle.
2nd down, 11. Gannon looks for Tim Brown, finds Tim Brown, and he's got a 1st down as he holds on to this one out to the 32. Brown, of course, we talked about Charles Woodson's Heisman, Tim Brown's Heisman Trophy at his mom's home in Dallas.
Well, it's perfect route running by Tim Brown because he gets exactly 1 yard beyond the 1st down mark. Look how he breaks that thing in there. And he gets, it's actually a good 2 or 3 yards. He ends up about a yard back when he's pushed back. But that is knowing where the chains are, knowing that, hey, at this stage of the ball game, you're looking a 1st down for the Raiders here. A completed pass, a big deal.
Like Chris Carter of the Vikings, he's going after his 7th consecutive 1,000-yard season. Here's Gannon on 1st down. He'll run. And he's got a little bit of room. He slides down at the 39-yard line as Kylie Wong makes the tackle. Now Rich Gannon started here, traded after the 93 season to the Redskins, and then had rotator cuff surgery and did not play in all of 1994. Spent those years with Kansas City and then signed the free agent contract. And of course, Jeff George, who was the Oakland quarterback last year, is the backup quarterback in Minnesota now. 2nd down and 5. Here's Kaufman getting a few yards, or 1 yard back to the right. Jeff George released after the Raiders decided not to trigger a $5 million payment or pay him $5 million. That would have triggered the remaining 3 years of a 5-year contract back in February. Searched around. Denny Green said he talked to his agent Lee Steinberg, said if you can't find a job as a starter in the league, call me back. We got room for him here as a backup, and he signed a 1-year deal for $400,000. 3rd and 3. Scrambles, got the 1st down, plus at the 45. Thought about laterally back to Tim Brown. Wisely held on to it, and he gains 20.
Well, I talked about somebody for the Raiders has to make a play. The first play of the second half here is made by Rich Cannon. This is not what you expect your quarterback to do. Takes off. Dwayne Clemens almost gets in there. Randall with the miss, and again, Rich Cannon, this is his 12th year in the league, and Rich can still scoop. Wisniewski locked up with Randall. Look at the Wisniewski, his quarterback, 15 yards downfield, still got a little get after it.
First down at the 40. Gannon looks right and settles for his tight end, Jeremy Brigham, the big second-string tight end. Rumbles inside the 20. He's down at the 19. That's a gain of 21.
Well, this is an offensive football team here in their opening series of the second half that bears little resemblance to the way the Raiders played in the first half. Completed passes, good crisp patterns, and this is a serious scoring threat underway by the Raiders right now, who look to be playing with a little more urgency, a little more focus.
Ricky Dudley back in at tight end. Brigham gets a rest after the big play. Wheatley the deep back in the eye on first down at the 19. Now, time called. Play clock winding down. 10:38 to go, third quarter. Opening drive of the third quarter. Oakland has taken it 61 yards. Rich Gannon has been a presence.
Yes, he has, and the Raiders have moved into the red zone where you'd like to be able to run the football, and as you can see, no one for Oakland has effectively run the football except for their quarterback. Now, can they change that? Kaufman on the sideline. Richie back there with Wheatley.
Here's Gannon. He goes to Richie, and Richie penetrates the 15-yard line. Well, Dan, you and I did the Oakland-Green Bay game last week, and we saw the Raiders inside the 30-yard line 6 times, and they couldn't punch it into the end zone early on.
And that's why they've had to fly back to the West Coast with that heartbreaking loss after giving up the lead. And when they had to, late in the game, pick up a first down where you'd like to hammer it in there and do it, they were unable to do so.
Second down 5 at the 14. Napoleon Kaufman on the field. He's the only setback. Brown is wide to the right against the rookie Ramus McDonald, the second-year man. They hand it to Kaufman. He's got that quick burst. He's got a first and goal at the 5-yard line. Perhaps they'll spot it at the 4.
Vikings may be guilty of overplaying the pass, thinking that out of that formation, Gannon was going to drop back and throw it. And we talked about speed. Napoleon Kaufman with that burst to the outside. Keep in mind, he took that handoff over on the right side of the formation and makes it all the way around the left end for first down yardage.
And John Gruden changes his backfield again. This time he's got Randy Jordan as the deep back. And John Ritchie is the blocking back. First and goal.
This is his big backs formation he told us about.
Flag motion before the snap. This, in all likelihood, will cost Oakland 5. First penalty of the game.
Start on the offensive team, number 40. False start on the offensive team, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
John Ritchie and Lincoln Kennedy. 2, and that is the first Oakland penalty of the afternoon.
And what a spot to have it. It remains first and goal, but you come all the way back out from down around the 4-yard line.
Brown left against Jimmy Hitchcock. Jordan in the backfield. Gannon fires it across the middle for James Jack. Touchdown Oakland. And the Raiders have the lead.
And the first glimpse of decisive offensive football out of the Raiders so far this game. Rich Gannon, who has spearheaded this drive, this touchdown scoring drive for the Raiders. The crossing pattern to Jet. He's working underneath the umbrella of the Vikings. A good throw, a good catch, and the Vikings saw the Raiders put together a drive of intensity.
Good job of holding by Araguz as the snap was low. Michael Houston authors the extra point. And the Oakland rip of holding by Araguz as the snap was low. Michael Houston authors the extra point. And the Oakland Raiders are up by 3. Oakland Raiders open the second half with an 80-yard drive. 9 plays it took, and 6 minutes and 5 seconds elapsed. James Jett gets the touchdown from Rich Gannon. Here's Houston's kickoff, and it's not very good. Oh, boy.
Vikings get to come all the way out to the 40-yard line with that ball going out of bounds.
That'll take the helium out of the pigskin. James Jett got the touchdown after a 5-yard penalty, Dan.
And keep in mind, Jett is the smallest receiver on the Raiders team, and you know on a crossing pattern like this, you're going to take the big hit. And he got it there from Robert Griffith, and a hit at the other end as Clemens drops Rich Gannon. And after watching that first half, how that pleases John Gruden.
Raiders have a lead, but Minnesota has good field position as they begin their first offensive set from their own 40-yard line. Cunningham gets pressure. Flag is down. Lance Johnstone was held. Here's Jake Reed, and this one's going to go against the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, Lance Johnstone normally plays the other defensive end. You can see them trying to take up a matchup here. They're trying to put him on Corey Stringer, the huge right tackle, and Johnstone is getting around the corner on Stringer, and I think that time he got the hold as well.
Holding, offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
He calls David Dixon, the right guard, on the hold. Randall Cunningham taking his hits today. It's been a great pass rush so far by the Raiders. 4 sacks in the first half, a lot of hits. And that time, a hit and a hold.
First down, 20. Beaker comes up in the line. See if he's coming. K.D. Williams, they are. And that one's kicked in the air and intercepted by Russell Maryland.
I don't think his knee hit the ground. I guess the official saying it did.
Baker tipped it. Maryland grabs it.
Every defensive lineman's dream to see that football up in the air. Russell able to take advantage of it, and all of a sudden, things have gotten real quiet here in the Metrodome.
Russell Maryland gets the interception.
Greg Beaker, the middle linebacker, stays in. You see him, he's on the blitz. Gets both hands on the football. There goes Russell. Oh, yeah, his left knee was down. Good call by the official.
From the 30, first down, Rich Gannon has Wheatley as the deep back and gives him the ball. Wheatley with a good, strong run inside the 25. A gain of 6.
Well, this is power football when Tyrone Wheatley is coming inside. The 230-pound back behind John Ritchie. There's Ritchie with the lead block. Wheatley runs into Ritchie. And that's just good power football. And again, one of the very few instances that we've seen a successful run by the Raiders. Hoffman broke one on the last series. That's Wheatley's best run of the day.
Randy Jordan split wide right. The running back. Jett in motion, and Lincoln Kennedy moved.
Full start, offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, it's tough to hear in the Metrodome. And Lincoln Kennedy with that false start will really get it going now. Well, he just can't hold it. You see him starting to rock back, and he loses it. Wait till he hears the crowd now. Because now the crowd here is going to say that we had a part in that false start. Let's try it again. This will be even louder.
Second and 9. Blitz. Gannon reads it. His receiver falls down. The bump and run with Ramus McDonald, and Jett is claiming he was tripped.
Well, they both end up on the footing, reaches out and tackles James Jett.
And that is not a challengeable violation.
No.
That's a judgment call. You can't use a challenge and use replay.
Oh, boy.
3rd and 9. Fumble. Flag down. And it's unraveling here after the Russell, Maryland interception. Gannon appears to have gotten it back.
Well, Ramus McDonald, you don't want to praise a guy for breaking the rules, but he knew when he lost his footing that that's a touchdown if he doesn't do something. So he's saying, hey, what do I care if I get called for defensive holding? It's not a touchdown.
Defense, the entire left side of the line is offside. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Now McDonald tackled James Jett as Gannon read the blitz and left to his first receiver down the right sideline.
And a smart play by McDonald, who lost his footing, but you just wonder how can that happen in the open like that and not be seen? Which is, I'm sure, what every Raider fan is thinking. The Raider fans are thinking, I'll tell you why it wasn't seen, because we're the Raiders.
3rd and 4. Brown wide left. Now in motion. 4-man rush. Gannon drills it. Ramus McDonald covering Terry Mickens.
And Mickens arguing that it was interference. All right, a couple plays ago. Here's the trip. McDonald goes down and reaches out and tackles James Jett. Now, here's McDonald again on Mickens. Boy, he's got the right hand behind the back. Now, you're allowed to have it there, but you can't grab the guy and move him. That could have brought a flag as well.
Michael Husted from 42 yards out. Adam True snaps it back. Michael Husted out of Araguse's hold hits it home. So the Raiders are able to get points out of the Russell, Maryland interception. They do have to settle for 3 instead of 7. The Raiders lead at 16-10, and while we were away, John Gruden getting into it with Larry Nemmers, the referee, claiming that Bob McGrath, the field judge, missed an obvious tackle, Ramus McDonald, on James Jett. Here's the kickoff, and Palmer with room. Tackle made at the 25-yard line by Charles Mincy, number 22. And Randall Cunningham and the Viking offense back on the field. Minnesota trails by 6. Vikings trail by 6. First down at their own 26-yard line. Randall Cunningham has his backs in the eye on 1st down and 10, and he will throw. Looks deep right side. Beekert is there, and it's incomplete. Greg Beekert dropping back on Andrew Glover, and he had both hands on it.
Take a look at this coming right at it. It's just straight play action, nothing fancy here. The pump by Randall, great pass protection. Woo! Greg Beekert had a chance to come up with a big play for the Raiders, and all of a sudden, this well-oiled machine in the purple jerseys looking like the oil can has sprung a leak.
Here comes the blitz. Richard Hardy, Robert Smith. Beekert is there again. That is the 7th tackle today for number 54. He also has a forced fumble and 1 pass defense. Greg Beekert.
Well, he's that rarity, Vern, in middle linebackers that doesn't come off the field. He stays out there in passing situations. Led the team in tackles last year. He's led them 3 out of the last 4 years. But Greg Beekert, not a situational player.
Now this is a defense that went from 30th in 97 to number 5 in the league last year under the leadership of that man, Willie Shaw. And they are playing well here. 1 running back, and here's Cunningham back. Steps up, and he is sacked for the 5th time today. And now the cascade of boos from a crowd that grew a little restless last week despite the win in Atlanta.
Well, how do you have an offensive series at this part of a ball game where you're down by 6 points and it turns out any worse than this? A near interception on the first down play, a loss by Robert Smith on second down, and a sack on third down. Now, with that ticket price comes the right to boo, and it is hard to argue booing that series.
Pittsburgh's first punt, and it chases Darian Gordon back to the 24-yard line. Gordon, good downfield coverage by Minnesota. A 55-yard punt, 12 on the return. Oakland has a 6-point lead and the ball late third quarter. Raiders up 16-10, first down at the 36. Here's the toss and a bobble. And Kaufman manages to gather it back in before he is tackled. But no gain on the play. Well, week 3 of the National Football League on...
By the way, Vern, what a good play by Stalin Koloné, the defensive end, number 99. This is a guy who dislocated his big toe last week down in Atlanta and stayed home at his defensive end position and ran down and tackled Napoleon Kaufman on that quick flip.
2nd and 11. Four-man rush. Gannon on a line. Tim Brown makes another grab. And he's got it close to the first down at the 45. 7 catches for Tim Brown. Oakland leading 16-10. Jordan is the deep back in the eye behind Ritchie on third down and 1. Gannon will throw. Nope, he's going to shovel it out, and it's complete to Ricky Dudley. And Dudley, the tight end, rumbles down inside the 30. How about Rich Gannon?
Well, John Randall is a nanosecond away from planting Rich Gannon. It's a good pocket initially. Let's take a look at number 93, John Randall, working against DiNapoli, and he comes around, and look at that. Randall has both hands on Rich Gannon, and he's able to still shovel that thing out there to Ricky Dudley. John Randall, working against Gennaro DiNapoli, gets around, and as I said at halftime, who's going to start making plays for the Oakland Raiders? Rich Gannon got it started, Vern, and now they're taking turns.
John Randall had him wrapped up, he thought. A 35-yard gain. Ricky Dudley's first catch of the season. And on the play, Lincoln Kennedy, the right tackle, injured and helped to the bench. And Darrell Ashmore, number 73, comes on for his first series this afternoon.
Both teams have lost their right tackle. Corey Stringer on the sidelines for the Vikings with a knee.
1st and 10, 3:23 to go, third quarter. Gannon hands it off to Kaufman, stutter step, and look at him, slither inside the 10 and down to the 7. Oh, did he put a little bit of a move on the right side.
And again, it's the burst of Napoleon Kaufman. It's his speed because he starts this, look at this, into the middle of the formation, and then the containment is broken. He's able to get to the outside. There's an error by the Vikings defensively. No corner force on the perimeter of the defensive line. And Kaufman took advantage of it. And finally, we're seeing some running attack from the Raiders.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line. They're up by 6. That's Jet in motion. The handoff Kaufman, and he's buried at the line. No gain. Tony Williams, number 94, and John Randall, number 93, and Kaufman gets up limping. John Randall, 7 consecutive seasons of 10 sacks or more. Joining 2 other men, Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White. This was Randall in the locker room before the game at 12:05 Eastern Time.
John really needs very little effort in getting his motor running. This guy must levitate out of bed in the morning.
Tyrone Wheatley in the backfield now. Gannon steps up, fires it. Tim Brown at the 5-yard line. It'll be third down. That's the 8th catch. And Gannon says, my fault.
I could hear Tyrone Wheatley on the blitz pickup. Watch Wheatley there on the left of your screen. Step inside and pop right on Dwayne Rudd, standing him up straight. I just can't get over how well Tyrone Wheatley is playing for the Raiders. A guy that was really let go by the Giants. They thought he was finished. Jimmy Johnson cuts in training camp. Somehow Tyrone Wheatley has gotten it.
Third and goal at the 5. That's Jordan in motion. Gannon, quarterback draw, goes left, touchdown. Wisniewski and Robbins and Ashmore leading the way.
And a quarterback draw all the way. 2 steps, plant, go. Look at that block by Wisniewski and by Robbins, the center, as they drive the Vikings all the way back into the end zone. Boy, that was a well-designed, well-executed play by Gruden's offense.
And with a 12-point lead, late third quarter, John Gruden is going to go for 2, but they have to use a timeout. So that is the second timeout they've used. They've got 1 remaining. (22-10), Denny Green's punch trailing. First game of our doubleheader. The next game will feature Denver at Kansas City. Broncos upended by Miami at home on Monday night, and Kansas City knocked off in Chicago last week. So an important AFC Western Division game, and you can bet these Oakland Raiders will keep abreast of things as they head back west. Jordan, the deep back in the eye, as the Raiders go for 2. That's Dudley in motion. Gannon for Ritchie, incomplete. The lead remains 12. And a battle down at the goal line. Ed McDaniel representing the Vikings, and Darryl Ashmore represents the Raiders.
But no flags.
Well, it was a week ago last Sunday in the fourth quarter. The Oakland Raiders had a 10-point lead at 24-14 in Green Bay. They were unable to hold on. We'll see what happens here. A 64-yard drive, 7 plays, and the Raiders up 22-10.
And you just cannot describe, if you did not see, for some reason, the first half of this football game. It is difficult to describe the difference between the Raiders offensively here in the third quarter and what we saw in the first half. The intensity, the aggression, the decisiveness, all of it missing in the first half.
Raiders have outscored Minnesota 16-zip in this half. And they're up as David Palmer awaits the kickoff from Husted by a 22-10 count.
And the crowd is going to get ugly with the Viking offense if they don't put together a pretty decent drive.
Husted and Palmer at the 1. David Palmer caught just short of the 20-yard line. Randy Moss, significant factor in the first half, but quiet here in the third quarter.
And it's time to take some shots. Here's Moss in the first half. Again, just a simple out and up. And this highlight grab over Charles Woodson with one hand. Forget the interference penalty on Woodson. And you'd have to think right now it's time for Ray Sherman and Randall Cunningham to take some shots with Randy Moss. He's at the top.
And Woodson comes up to bump him and play him on the line. Cunningham back, settles into the flat for Leroy Horde. Darian Gordon comes up, and there's the fumble. Loose ball. Oakland has it.
Oh, wait a minute.
Unless there's a whistle.
Question, did one of the Raiders step out of bounds? Was Horde down? There's a bunch of questions here being discussed by the officials. This is the right thing to do. Get all the parties. a good look at the buzzer on his belt if he wants to challenge.
The ruling on the field is that the Minnesota was out of bounds, never reestablished himself before he recovered, so it's Minnesota's ball.
Now, will John Gruden want to challenge?
All right, Leroy Horde is the back. Leroy has the football. The ball is out. It is a fumble. Okay, right there you got a good look at Anthony Newman with his left foot out of bounds. He did not come back in and establish possession of the football, but then we also saw the football after the fact going to the Raiders. But the fact he was out of bounds, touching the football, Leroy Horde was not down. This is a fumble. Watch the left foot of Newman. Right there, it's out of bounds. And he touches the football. At that point in time, the ball reverts back to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, there's still a lot of discussion going on out here. You heard referee Larry Nemmer say he did not establish himself in bounds.
And Larry Nemmer's made reference to Minnesota. I think he meant to say Oakland.
He meant to say Oakland.
And once again, here's Larry Nemmer.
Oakland has challenged the ruling on the field that the ball belongs to Minnesota because of the player being out of bounds and recovering it. We'll review the play.
And now comes the matter of indisputable visual evidence.
The ruling on the field was good. The player did step out of bounds and recover the football. Therefore, it's Minnesota's ball. Second down. Oakland will be charged with a timeout.
Well, that's the
That's
second
their
week.
third and final timeout.
I'm really surprised that John Gruden challenged that. I'm not sure if it was completely understanding the rule or not, because I thought it was pretty clear that Newman's left foot was out of bounds.
When play resumes, it will be second down and 8.
And that is the only thing that matters, folks, when we look at that replay. The Raiders did recover the football. No question of that. But all that matters, the only thing that mattered, was that when he touched the football, Anthony Newman's left foot was out of bounds.
Challenge denied. Cost the Raiders a timeout. They have none remaining.
Now, lost in all of that and forgotten another mistake by the Vikings offensively.
Moss again lines up against Woodson, top of the screen. This is Reed at the bottom, and Cunningham back to throw, batted down by Grady Jackson. And listen to the murmurs of the crowd. That's more than a murmur.
I've been booed before, and I know what it sounds like, Vern.
Not in St. Louis.
That is not a murmur.
No.
No.
Well, this is a Minnesota team that has gotten used to winning.
Look at this crowd.
15-1 last season.
Hardly a rabid crowd right there.
In this half, -3 for Minnesota. Third down. Cunningham back. Cunningham up across the middle. Jake Reed in front of Eric Allen. First down, Minnesota. A gain of 18.
On credit, the front line of the Vikes, because they gave Randall Cunningham all the time in the world to look at this pattern downfield. Jake Reed breaks off his pattern, comes to the middle, and Randall was able to get a really good look at it.
To compound the problem, there was a roughing the passer call. And Larry Nemmer has just identified the man. I'm candidly not sure who it was. So add on the penalty and move the ball across the 50 to the Oakland 45. So an 18-yard gain and the penalty, and the infraction called on Tony Bryant, number 94. First down and 10, Minnesota. Glover in motion. Newman coming coming on the blitz. Johnstone got there. Cunningham lets it go into double coverage. And that one is incomplete as Eric Turner.
Oh, Eric Turner must have said something to the official. Oh, the Raiders. If that's the case, Eric Turner intercepted the football, but obviously came down out of bounds.
Here's Larry Nemmers.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defensive team, number 29, for spiking the ball at the official's feet. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Eric Turner upset. Now this is Woodson and Moss. Now Turner comes over. He's a safety. He's way out of bounds. Did he direct this at the official?
I don't think so.
He's well out of bounds, and Tom Finken, the side judge, rules him out of bounds. And then he interprets that spiking of the football by Turner as some type of an aggressive action directed towards him and tags on 15.
So the Vikings open the fourth for the first down at the 30, and that one is hit as Cunningham lets it go. Randall Cunningham hit 14 of his first 19 passes and looked unstoppable. But the second half has been a bit of a nightmare. He is one of his last 6.
Well, on this drive, he has that 18-yard completion, and couple that with 30 yards in penalties against the Raiders. You've got a 12-point lead here, and the Raiders do not need to self-destruct with penalties.
Randy Moss goes left. Eric Allen defends. Jake Reed is right against Woodson, and that's Chris Carter in motion. Second down. Here's Cunningham across the middle, caught by Carter, who is sandwiched and cut down at the 29-yard line, and Greg Beaker has a few things to say.
Carter, after the catch, actually gives up a little yardage. Watch where he makes the catch, and now he loses a little ground. An outstanding tackle by Beaker. Beaker reacting to the fact that Chris Carter kind of gave him a shove with his left foot.
Randy Moss goes left with Carter in the slot. Third down and 8 from the 28. Raiders bring 5. Cunningham deep right side. Reed! Touchdown, Minnesota!
Well, it looked like there was some confusion in the Raiders secondary. Charles Woodson, the cornerback, with coverage. Woodson not looking like if he's sure if it's covered 2 or not. He half-heartedly runs with Reed, but really doesn't run with Reed. Hard to tell if he was expecting safety help that wasn't there.
That's Darian Gordon who's chatting with Willie Shaw right now.
Well, a mistake in the secondary by the Raiders. So 2 15-yard penalties and a mistake. And all of a sudden the Raiders' comfortable lead is no more.
Anderson's extra point is up and good. We have 14 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in regulation.
Charles Woodson with Jake Reed. That's a Viking touchdown.
Former Raider Jeff George talking to his Minnesota teammate Randall Cunningham. Jake Reed. Over on the far side, Darian Gordon, Charles Woodson. Wondering what happened. Here's the kick. Randy Jordan. A flag flies as Jordan is down near the 21-yard line. Holding Oakland.
half the distance to the goal. First down.
All right, let's take a look at that last touchdown. Here's Woodson against Reed. Darian Gordon, you saw him talking to Willie Shaw, I think should have been back here to help Charles Woodson. Woodson obviously here expecting safety help. Gordon looking back to the inside, and look how late he is to react. Reed already way past him. We saw Willie Shaw on the sideline talking to Gordon, still talking to Gordon. And you could see by Woodson's coverage, he was expecting that help that wasn't there.
Here's Gannon with a play fake, deep right side. He's got a man open, that's Jet. And he hits Jet flying down the sideline. A completed catch at the 39-yard line.
Well, you got to love this call on first down, backed up to your own goal line. Straight man coverage, and James Jett, one of the fastest receivers in the league, just runs away from Ramus McDonald and takes in a perfect strike from Rich Gannon. Aptly named James Jett.
First down after the 31-yard pickup. Kaufman and Ritchie in the backfield now. Here's Napoleon Kaufman, got a good block from Ritchie and circles the sideline. Kaufman out of bounds across the 50. And he gets to the 48. John Ritchie freed him.
Boy, and if you want to know what kind of acceleration does Napoleon Kaufman have, here's a good look at Ed McDaniel, one of the fastest, quickest middle linebackers in football, and he doesn't even get a sniff of Napoleon Kaufman as he breaks to the outside.
That's a gain of 12. And a first down at the Minnesota 47-yard line. Kaufman and Ritchie, and the audible from Rich Gannon. Blitz. Oh, gosh. Kaufman was wide open left side. The pass behind him. Randy Jordan comes back in. Second down and 10. Left side, Tim Brown to the 42-yard line. It'll be third down. The tackle made by Kenny Wright, number 20, who's getting extensive action as a nickelback today.
In motion, and we've seen this pattern today a lot by the Raiders. Remember, James Jett scored a touchdown on this in the first half. It's just that simple crossing pattern. It takes a while to develop. It takes good protection up front. One of the things the Raiders have been doing so far today, pretty well handling this Metrodome crowd noise. Not a lot of false starts, but I'm not sure it's been louder than this.
They call timeout, they don't have one. Rich Gannon forgot they've used all their 3 timeouts. The Raiders do not have a timeout.
I thought that's a penalty.
It is.
Oakland is taking their 4th timeout. That's a 5-yard penalty.
The rules, you can't take what you don't have. Remember, the Raiders lost the timeout when they challenged, and it was not successful in their favor. That was where that timeout went.
And now they look at a 3rd and 10.
And Vern, there's a lot of football left to be played here. 12 minutes and 17 seconds for a team not to have any timeouts. This could hurt the Raiders down the stretch.
All 6 Raider penalties in the second half. Gannon in the air, incomplete. Intended for Dudley. Dwayne Rudd defending, 4th down. And Oakland now 3 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. Aragu's on the punt for the 3rd time. David Palmer waits at the 10. Play clock down to 9 and running. Nice and high. Palmer lets it bounce, and it is stopped by Terry Mickens at the 1-yard line. 45-yard punt for Aragoose. Obviously nothing on the return. Vikings at home trailing by 5. They have the ball with 12:03 to go in the ball game, but they've got it 99 yards away.
Well, obviously, it's an offensive team that has a lot of confidence. Those 556 points of a year ago tell you that. I'm sure Willie Shaw, what he told his Raider defense was, look, guys, we gave up 2 penalties. That's 30 yards, and a major mistake on coverage that gave them a touchdown. We can tighten it up.
Here's the handoff and the give to Robert Smith, who manages to squeeze a couple of yards. $11:50 to go.
3 catches, 71 yards for Randy Moss. He did have the 1 interference, but that was against Charles Woodson on a completed pass, so that's already factored into those 71 yards. He's got to become a part of this fourth quarter.
Woodson backs off Moss, bottom of your screen. Cunningham with the play fake. In the end zone, nobody there. Goes left, incomplete. He had Kleinsasser and Moss on the right side, but good coverage. Glover was also on the near side.
It's been a while since I've seen a quarterback stand in his end zone as long as Randall is here. A lot of pressure on your offensive lineman. Any sort of a holding call in that end zone ends up being a safety. Just can't find anybody. Credit the Raiders. That's throwing a blanket over everybody.
3rd and 8 at the 4. Now Woodson comes up on Moss, bottom of the screen. And a flag. Motion call, Minnesota.
False start on the center, removing his arm, half the distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
That's Jeff Christie, number 62 in the Pro Bowl last year.
Now, if you say what's wrong with moving your arm, if in the official's estimation it was done in a manner where your intent was to try to draw somebody off sides, you double clutch, do anything like that, that's the penalty.
Half the distance back to the 2.
Yeah. Again, Corey Stringer, the right tackle, is on the bench, and he's got a knee injury. You see number 78 there to the right. That's Matt Burke, a second-year guy from Harvard. He's the guy that's having to go with Lance Johnstone over there on the right side. A lot of pressure.
3rd and 10. Cunningham back in the end zone, looking left all the way. Drills it out for Moss, incomplete. It will be 4th down.
And with 17 touchdown catches comes a lot of attention. And you can see every time the ball goes in the direction of Randy Moss and he doesn't get it, he's hearing a lot of jawing from the Raiders. Eric Allen this time with the coverage. Look at Allen. Look into the backfield. He knows he's got help. He knows he's got help. And that is just the perfect way you play it. Eric Turner's taking away the deep game. Eric Allen with the jam and the ride, taking care of everything up front.
Darian Gordon, who is the career leader in punt return yardage with a 13-yard average. And Berger bangs it out of there. Holy cow, what a punt. What a great punt by Berger. Robert Tate down to Graben inside the 35. A 65-yard punt from the end zone.
Not bad.
That's very astute. Nice analysis.
Thank you.
Raiders first down at their own 33. Ricky Dudley, tight end, goes tight to the right side. Wheatley is the deep back in the eye behind Gannon. And Wheatley gets the handoff and bangs his way up the middle. Dwayne Rudd made the contact, and they were going north.
And to no one's surprise, this is the time of a ball game where grinding out some first downs, cranking away at the clock. The Vikings knew that was going to be a running play. They jammed the line of scrimmage, and the Raiders still successful in hammering Wheatley in there.
Rushing yards, 107 to 34. Wheatley stays in the backfield. Now he's got Jeremy Brigham, the tight end, back there with him, and Tim Brown in motion. Blitz coming. Gannon reads it, finds Brigham. What a terrific read by Rich Gannon. Knew the blitz was coming all along. Hot receiver, the tight end, out of the backfield, Jeremy Brigham. And a gain of 17.
And Rich Gannon has just grabbed this offense by the throat here in the second half and is doing everything right. Again, the mobility, moving out of the pocket, a soft delivery to Brigham, and there's just nobody left in the Vikings secondary. They committed to the blitz. Gannon's mobility gets him out of harm's way, and he makes the easy completion.
Rich Gannon, 10 of 14 in this half, a 17-yard gain. And a first down. Here's Wheatley going right, gets a block. And Tyrone Wheatley, as a flag flies, is tackled inside the 40. Robert Griffith got there, number 24. Holding, Oakland.
Holding, offense number 86, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Derek Walker. Now Oakland leads it by 5. They got a touchdown from James Jett, having trailed 10-6 at the half, and then a quarterback draw. Gannon got the second touchdown. Minnesota came back on a Jake Reed catch, and it's 22-17 now. John Gruden's Raiders, no penalties first half, 7 in this half. Jordan's in the lineup on 1st and 20. First and here's Gannon. Jordan, flag again. John Burrow made the tackle.
And they're going to have I think we're going to have another ineligible receiver downfield. Some confusion with the Raiders, but I think Barrett Robbins, the center, he was 5 or 6 yards downfield.
There's no infraction on the play. The player was not downfield. Second down.
Okay. Sure looked like it from up here. All right, let's take a look at James Jett. Working against McDonald. I mean, by this point in time, McDonald sees that it is a short flip out there, and James Jett kind of put a little holding involved there.
2nd and 17. Gannon back. Gannon dropped by Ricky Dudley. Whoa. That's at least 6 drop passes by Raider receivers today. 3rd and 17.
And the Ricky Dudley watch continues. Their number 1 draft choice back in 1996. The Raiders have more and more impatiently now waiting for him to take that step to the next level. Hasn't happened yet.
3rd and 17. Lobs it out right side. Jordan, incomplete pass. The rule is that he never had possession. 4th down. And Araguz comes back on to punt. Last time out, he sailed one 45 yards. That was down by Terry Mickens at the 2-yard line. David Palmer goes back and hopes the same thing doesn't happen here.
And the reason this is a punt instead of a field goal is because of that awesome punt by Berger out of the end zone.
65 yards. Randy Moss readies himself. We still have 9:12 to go in the game. Another Another nice high punt by Aragoose, and a fair catch called this time by David Palmer. He moves up and grabs it at the 16-yard line. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, Randall Cunningham, et al. On the field. 9:05 left in this one. Denver, Kansas City coming up as the second game of our doubleheader. Vikings have the ball first down at their own 16, trailing by 5. Here comes the blitz from Woodson. Cunningham goes left. Allen and Moss, and Randy Moss is there to make the grab. A 15-yard gain.
It's really pretty solid coverage by Eric Allen. This is just Randall Cunningham throwing it over anywhere on that side of the field and let Randy Moss do what he does so well, and that is make an adjustment. Somehow break free, separate from the corner to make a catch. You know, that's the type of a throw, Vern, that may not be a completion to a lot of receivers in this league, as simple as it looks.
Moss in the slot this time. Cunningham goes deep. He's got Jake Reed wide open. Dan, I must believe there was a mix-up on coverage again. 29 yards.
All right, take a look at the receiving pattern here. Jake Reed in the slot, to the outside rather, and then crosses in behind the slot. The Raiders playing a very loose, a very deep zone, abandoning the middle of the field. And to say that Jake Reed settled into a sizable area would be an understatement.
29-yard gain. He is over 100 yards for the day. Here's Cunningham up and goes right, and it's incomplete. Second down. Blitz coming off the corner. Cunningham goes deep in the middle for Glover, his tight end, incomplete. 3rd and 10. With 7:34 remaining.
Randall didn't have a lot of time to make up his mind. But a lot of times with the blitz coming on the corner like that, you got to find somebody who's uncovered. Glover was not the guy that time. He was really sandwiched between two Raiders, and again, aggressively, Randall tries to get the ball to him.
Reed goes left. Moss comes right against Woodson. And Carter's in the slot. One, Cunningham down the middle. Cole, no, drop. 4th down, Reed.
Eric Turner, the safety. His hit, I believe, is the one that knocks the ball loose from Jake Reed. Randall puts it right there. Jake bobbles the football, but without the big hit, he was keeping it right in front of him. You assume he'll be able to control it, but Eric Turner took that option away.
4th and 10, and Minnesota will go for it. They send Carter wide to the left. Moss in the slot right, Reed wide right.
That's shocking to me. That's really, at this stage of the ball game, 7 minutes and 29 seconds left, you're down by 5. We're not talking about 4th and 2 here, 4th and 10. I know, you know, if you punted it in the end zone, you're talking about 19 yards of field position, but you could pooch it down inside the 10 or something like that, and there's a lot of this football game left to play.
And a reminder that John Gruden's Oakland Raiders do not have a timeout left. They cannot stop the clock. The Vikings have 2 of their 3 remaining.
We saw Ray Sherman talking to Denny Green on the sideline there. Ray Sherman, the offensive coordinator, was up. That's Ray Sherman right there. He was up in the press box a week ago. Has always worked in the press box. And the Vikings players asked him if he would come down and work from the sideline. I don't know. He spent a lot of time this week game planning a 4th and 10 play.
Ray Sherman, offensive coordinator at Pittsburgh last season.
Man, if it works, they're all geniuses, but I'm kind of scratching my head here, Vern.
Moss in the slot. Carter left, Reed right. Raiders blitz. Cunningham across the middle, caught, but it's short of the first down. Anthony Newman makes the tackle on Glover, short of the first down. The Oakland Raiders will take over a 9-yard gain, and they come up short. So they effectively, had it gone in the end zone, they give up 11 yards.
If it goes in the end zone.
Right.
But keep in mind, it could have been a lot, could have gone a lot deeper than that, and they may have sacrificed 10, 15, 20, who knows? The point of the matter is they didn't get it. They turned the ball over. That's a little demoralizing. Hey, aggressive play calling by the Minnesota Vikings. Willie Shaw told us, if you are who you say you are, talking about his defense, you won a game like this.
1st and 10. Wheatley has room, rumbles across the 40. Tyrone Wheatley at 233 pounds. A perfect compliment, it would seem, to Napoleon Kaufman.
See, I think there's a bit of an emotional transfer when you go for it on 4th down and you don't get it. There's more involved here than just yardage. Now look what the Raiders do on their very first play. I mean, look at that blocking. Look at this group up front. There's Barrett Robbins, number 63. Good block by Wisniewski, 76. This is just kind of a transfer of emotion when you don't make it on 4th down.
They'll go to Wheatley again, trying to use the power back, and he is out to the 47-yard line before Tony Williams makes the tackle. Tyrone Wheatley, of course, out of Michigan, the #1 draft pick of the New York Giants, and chatting with us yesterday, he said, look, the last 2 years, I had a really bad attitude in New York. I take responsibility for how my career went south there.
He said no matter what I did, it seemed in my first 2 years, I just couldn't get out of a hole. It all went wrong. And then you kind of admired him for saying, hey, I'm the guy that screwed up my second 2 years. I'll take the heat for that. I was a disappointment, I know, to the Giants and to myself as well.
2nd and 8, back split, blitz coming. Gannon across the middle. Finds his tight end, and that's good for a first down at the 40. Ricky Dudley hangs on to this one. A gain of 14.
And a first down. And the clock continues to run. Rich Gannon has really been so solid here in this second half. Look at Tim Brown get down there and put a block on Orlando Thomas. And Ricky Dudley doing something that just doesn't come all that easily to him. That's holding on to the catch. But this is, Rich Gannon has really asserted himself offensively with this Raider team here in the second half.
1st and 10, Oakland with a 5-point lead. This is Randy Jordan, number 28, inside the 40. Tackle made by Orlando Thomas, number 42.
Good lead block by John Ritchie, but again, the team speed of the Vikings. That's how they got over to make that tackle for no gain. This gang can run.
Now Jordan out, Wheatley back in. 2nd and 10. The clock at 4:40. Raiders, no timeouts. Minnesota has 2 remaining. Play fake. Gannon drills it, has a man. It's Terry Mickens inside the 30 at the 28.
And you know what, Vern? To be conservative is to run the football there, grind some time off the clock. John Gruden, who calls the plays for the Raiders, is having none of that. He's putting the ball in the hands of Rich Gannon. He's saying, Rich, you have played a heck of a football game. I believe in you. Take care of it. And he finds Mickens for the first down. There's a timeout down on the field. We've got an injured Minnesota player. It looks like number 51, Rob Holmberg.
4:03 to go in this one. And a first down 10 for John Gruden's Oakland Raiders. Already 42 yards, and they've chewed up 3 minutes and 23 seconds with this possession.
A nice mix of running the football with Wheatley and Gannon's throwing.
Wheatley back as the deep back behind Ritchie. Comes left, fumbles. Loose ball. Tyrone Wheatley dropped it. Minnesota has it.
Football behind Ritchie, and Tyrone Wheatley gets the ball stripped out. Looked like Tony Williams, number 94, the defensive tackle, and it was not a violent hit that popped that ball loose. It almost seemed that Wheatley wasn't expecting to get hit. He didn't sense anyone near him.
First turnover for Oakland.
You know, Vern, that's a fumble like that negates an awful lot of good things.
Carter goes in the slot to the left, inside of Randy Moss, 1st and 10. Minnesota, 22-17 with 3:40 to go. They got to Cunningham, and he shovels it out. They're going to say he was down before he let go of the ball. Russell, Maryland.
And being down, I think it kept Randall Cunningham from getting called for intentional grounding. I don't know what Randall was thinking about here. The offensive line falls apart. Russell, Maryland splits a double team right in behind him. It's just a complete, the entire pocket falls together. Osborne in there, and this offensive line of the Vikings struggles.
Here's Cunningham dancing left, comes up and finds Robert Smith, but he's cut down at the 30 to bring up 3rd and 12. Darian Gordon, number 23, was there to make the stop. And we're under 3 minutes in regulation. Reed right. Moss right. Carter left against Eric Allen. Marquise Walker has Randy Moss. 3rd and 12 and Cunningham back. Good and almost picked off by Beaker.
I'll tell you what, Vern, they were going back to the same play to Jake Reed that they connected on last drive. Jake Reed was coming into the middle of the field. Greg Beaker, number 54, the lower left of your screen. This is Cunningham trying to get to Reed. See Jake breaking right there? He is wide open. And Greg Beaker elevates and gets this football. This is a sure completion to Jake Reed, who's just standing out there all by himself. Ooh, talk about a game of inches. And there's a good look at why Greg Beaker doesn't come out.
Berger's punt. Gordon, fair catch. Grabs it at the 24. A 46-yard Berger punt. Nothing on the return. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in regulation. For the second time today, Greg Beaker goes up and knocks down a Randall Cunningham pass.
And for the second time in 2 weeks on the road, late in a ball game, the Raiders are trying to protect the lead. They were unsuccessful last week in Green Bay, Vern.
Packers held. The Raiders had a similar circumstance, and then Woodson let one go on the right side, and with less than 15 seconds to go, Jeff Thomason completed an 82-yard drive. So John Gruden's team trying to get a first down here and maintain possession of the football until the clock runs out. Here's Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley fumbled his last carry. This time he gets out to the 29.
And give John Gruden credit for having confidence enough in Tyrone Wheatley. There aren't enough thank yous that Tyrone Wheatley could ever say to John Gruden for letting him back in this game and giving him an opportunity to redeem himself.
Remember what he said to us yesterday? He said, my biggest satisfaction out of the first game was that John Gruden put me in a position to contribute.
Not so much that I played well, but that I had a chance and he believed in me. Again, a reminder coming up, Denver is in Kansas City.
Might be the Terrell Davis show. There's, I guess, bad weather in Kansas City. Looked like it was raining when we saw it a couple hours earlier. But John Gruden, again, he's been put in this position with his team that a first down or two will win this ball game for them.
2nd and 5. Wheatley coming left. Wheatley with a big hole. Wheatley tries to stiff arm Robert Griffith. He does come down inbounds with a 25-yard gain and a first down as we hit the 2-minute warning. Raiders have a first down and 10 at the Minnesota 45. Oakland Raider defensive coordinator Willie Shaw, one-time member of the staff here in Minnesota.
He interviewed last year in Philly, Kansas City, and Cleveland for the head coaching position. You get the feeling he's going to be there one day because this guy can flat coach.
First down 10, Raiders. At the Minnesota 46, it'll be Wheatley again with John Ritchie leading the way. A flag comes from way downfield. Robert Griffith was with the tackle.
If somebody for the Raiders was dumb enough to hold,
there you go.
It's a good thing they don't have firing squads. Because John Gruden's got to be thinking about it.
Offense number 86, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Derek Walker, who was called for holding, I believe, on the last series, was he not? Or at least maybe 2 series ago. This is where you just talk to yourselves in the huddle. You constantly remind each other, keep your hands in. We don't want to do anything to stop the clock and back us up.
So instead of a first down inside the 40,
at this stage of the ball game, you miss the block rather than hold. If you clean whip on the guy, that's better.
Vikings can stop it once more. Here's Wheatley out to the 50-yard line and see if Minnesota chooses to use its last time out. John Randall and Robert Griffith.
They have no choice.
Yep.
Keep in mind that game-winning drive last week by Brett Favre and the Packers was a little over 80 yards, and they had no timeouts when they got the football. So the Raiders have to be thinking right now that we're hoping there's no deja vu here.
.147 remaining. There was 1:51 on the clock when Oakland gave up the ball last week in Green Bay. Vikings, of course, won every game at home last season until they got to the NFC Championship game. That's a pretty big until. They lost to Atlanta here in overtime, gave up a lead. John Gruden's team trying to win on the road in Minnesota. Second down and 14. Wheatley comes left. Ritchie was looking for someone to block, and Ed McDaniel flew in, and Dwayne Rudd got there as well. And now it'll bring up third down and 11.
And no timeouts left for the Vikings, so they're left to just watch this clock run. And without timeouts, without a major mistake here by the Raiders, starting to look more and more like it's their game.
See how conservative they are here. Wheatley will hang on to it. He is knocked down as he gets to the 46, fourth down. John Randall makes the tackle on Tyrone Wheatley.
So they will have to punt. They will have to do something with the football, but by the time the play clock now down to 25 seconds. So by the time the Vikings get the football and able to do anything with it, we're looking somewhere around 10 seconds or so.
Under 30 and running. Adam True on to snap it back to Araguz. And they'll let this one run all the way down. 4 seconds to go. And here's going to be the delay of game call, 5-yard penalty, but 14 seconds remaining. Minnesota.
Delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
This is that rare situation where the defense will go ahead and accept this penalty because you'll take 5 yards when you've got to go the length of the field to win a football game. You're forced to take the 5 yards any way you can get it.
Sends it deep. David Palmer, fair catch at the 15 with 8-second play. 35-yard punt.
A well-executed punt by Araguz and the special teams of the Raiders under pressure. And you stop and think about it, Vern. If it wasn't for all the penalties against the Raiders here in the second half, this game wouldn't be this close. That's how dominant the Raiders have been here in the second half. And this has to be a major disappointment for the Vikings here in their home opener.
Only the second time, assuming they don't get the go-ahead score here, that they will have lost under Denny Green in the home opener. Here's Cunningham. Lets it go deep right side. Eric Turner back there, and Eric Turner makes the interception. And the Oakland Raiders come into Minnesota and hand the Vikings a shocking loss.
And how improved might the Raiders be? They should have won in Green Bay last week. They had that game won, and now they come to Minnesota and win here. I think most people looked at the start of this schedule for the Raiders and said, 2 sure losses. Not so.
Oakland gets to go home and take on Chicago next week in their home opener.